Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? It's Friday. How are you? This is your host, Janice Carter Miller. I got my head cut off. That will never do. And welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Tonight, we're going to have an encore conversation. That's a conversation that I've had with someone before, and I'm going to play it again. And that conversation that I had was with none other than Principal Rice of Shawnee. And I thought I'd replay the conversation because last night we had the good old days at Shawnee. The Shawnee Alumni Association is doing a reboot. We're trying to get back together so that we can support the school, support the students, support Principal Rice, because we have someone at Shawnee that loves our students, that is going to be nurturing our students. She already facilitated the rehab, the reopening of the third floor. We had our meeting last night in the old auditorium, which is spanking brand new. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. So if you haven't met Principal Rice or heard her speak, I don't know how many interviews she's had. You've seen her on TV on some of the clips for the wonderful things that are happening for Shawnee. So I'll just be running that show. That show was done about, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, like in the spring before school was out. And then she joined us down at Shawnee Park for the all-class reunion. She's been very supportive of the Alumni Association rebooting itself because she needs us to come and have a presence in the school with the students. So this evening, I introduce you to Principal Kym Rice at Shawnee Academy, Shawnee High School. She's going to work on some magic things. I can't tell you. I'm not going to try to kill all her joy. But she's got some wonderful things planned for the school. So sit back, relax, and listen to my conversation with Principal Kym Rice. But first, I want to say, I want to give a shout out to Coach Kenny Payne. Now, Louisville's acting like it's just Christmas. And I sure hope that since basketball seems to be the glue that brings this city together, that his coming to U of L will bring this community together. Because, we still segregated as all get up, except when we go to basketball and football games. Then we get along. We love each other. We get out and don't, cut somebody off. And, you forgot that was the same person that was sitting in front of you. And you was high-fiving them all day long. We need to learn how to love each other, treat each other a little bit better than we do. But welcome, Coach Kenny Payne. Wait a minute, let me do how you do it? Go cards. Can't tell where to bring my fingers. Go cards. All right. And the other thing I want to speak on is still got problems with this violence. I'm going to talk about that a little later on at the end of the show, because we've got a lot of people doing some things, but it seems to be that it's all about plotting some strategy. We need to have some action. These children need something to do to occupy their time. So, we need to have them in a room with us, not us in a room and them still out in the streets. So, I think that's kind of twisted. So maybe, I'll keep bringing it up until maybe I'll step out and do something. Or I've got something to do. But first, let me say, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so proud because she is the new principal at my alma mater, Shawnee the academy at Shawnee, and that would be none other than Principal Kym Rice. Hello, girlfriend.
Hey, good evening, Miss
Hi.
Noah. How are you?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
I am well. I am doing well. Thank you.
Let me tell you one thing that I wanted to say to you is that I have never seen a principal that can be smiling all the time. Just you always seem to have just this positive attitude. And I think that's a difficult thing to do being a principal. So tell me how you manage to stay so just bright and uplifted.
Well, I'm going to tell you the secret is by the grace of God.
Yes, yes.
That is how
That's
I'm
always the
able.
secret.
Yes, that is the secret. He keeps me going,
Mhm,
even on the days that I think are the lowest ones. I
mhm.
always look to him for my strength, and that's what keeps me going. And it helps too that I'm a pretty chipper person most of the time
Most of
anyway.
the time, yeah. That does help, doesn't it? Well, tell me now. I know we met. I first met you when I was subbing over to at Western
Yes,
Middle
ma'am.
School,
Hmm.
and you were just a ray of sunshine then. So, what happened to make you make the decision to come to Shawnee?
It was a lot of things that took place. I really was happy at Western Middle School for the arts. We had done some great things. We had a great community there, family support, families engaged. The kids were amazing. And I was like, this is good. I'm
Right.
happy to be here. But then that was that part of me that there was need elsewhere. And so when the opportunity came up, I turned it down twice and said, nope, not gonna do that. Not
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good. But then that third time, it was something about that third time. They say third time's a charm, or whatever you want to call it. But that third time, I said, there's something for me to do for another group of kids. And so I had been past Shawnee many, many, many times. I grew up right there on North 43rd,
Okay.
315 North 43rd as a
Oh
little
wow, you
girl.
sure enough in the neighborhood.
Yes. And so had been past the school many times, never ever dreamed that I would one day be leading the school as a principal. And I would say it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Really?
Yes, yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
You
Yes,
know, but you
ma'am.
you you made a statement that those kids really didn't need you. If you had a good base at Western with the parents' involvement and all that, then they're on their way.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
these kids at Shawnee, they needed all of that structure. They need
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
that. Absolutely.
And we've come so far. Saturday was my 4th year anniversary, and it
4 years
actually marked my
already?
4 years already.
Wow.
And we've come so far in just those 4 years. I mean, that parental support is there,
Okay,
and it's
good.
coming. And parents want to be involved with their kids, and the kids know me, and they know what I'm about. The community knows me. So it's no surprises, no secrets now. It's here. I'm here to stay.
Wow, that's wonderful. So now let's talk about the most expensive high school in the state of Kentucky. Shawnee. Who'd have thunk
It
it, huh?
is, and it's not only the most expensive renovation that's been done,
Uh-huh.
but Shawnee is the largest school in the state of Kentucky,
Really?
the largest school building. Now, other schools have added on to their campuses, but square foot to square foot, our actual school building, the inside is 330,000
Whoa. You froze up on me. You still there?
square. I'm here.
Okay.
You got me now?
33,000 square feet? Oh,
330,000 square feet.
330. Whoa.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is that both the schools combined together? Because you have the junior high is connected to the new high school.
Correct. I have a middle school, 6 through 8, and we have the high school, 9 through 12. But
Okay.
the actual inside of the building, 330,000 square feet.
Wow. Now
No
that's going
addition,
so.
330,000 square feet. It's a huge building.
Wow. I never thought that it
Yes.
would be that big. Now tell me about
Yes.
the third floor. The opening of the third floor. I mean,
So the
that's
opening of the third
major.
floor, it's it's simply amazing. When I first got there,
Hmm.
you're always trying to figure out what's happening in a building, and so I spent a couple of weekends there just walking through the building, trying to
Right.
figure it out. And when I went up to this third floor, I was flabbergasted. It was a scary, dark, damp place. There were birds up there. Some had died. Some were still living. There were bats, um, rats, mice.
Girl.
Um,
Oh.
it was awful. There was water dripping, mold. I mean, it was in really poor condition. It was dark,
Hmm.
graffiti everywhere. And my understanding is that it was years of graffiti, students being able to sneak up there. So it was years and years of
Hmm.
things written on the walls. Lockers had been torn out, but still, and I will say this to this day, when I got to Shawnee on March 19th, 2018, I said this school has the P word. And the P word I said it has is potential.
Ah.
And so when I went up to that third floor, I saw the potential.
Okay. Okay.
I said, this is an amazing, amazing place. And to really look at it now, I mean, I have pictures, but you can't, the pictures really don't tell the whole story. You
Right.
would have to have seen it to really believe it. And now it is such a bright and vibrant place. Now for the kids, we're using as much space as we can. So it's not just one group of students that get to go up to the third floor.
Right.
All the students have the opportunity to have the newness of the third floor. And so they get worn out by the time they get up there and they complain, but they have brand new furniture and all throughout the building we have new lights. The building is so much more brighter. Um, the classrooms have all the latest technology. So even though it may look very much the same on the outside, it's definitely changed on the inside.
Oh, you're looking good on it from the inside out. That's wonderful because it was amazing to me now. Principal Rice, when I went to Shawnee, there were 1,500 students.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm talking about I came out of Shawnee in 1968.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and it was integration. It was mixed. No
Mhm.
problems. I don't ever remember black and white kids fighting each other. I don't
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
any of that. I
Mhm.
remember that everybody seemed to have, it was almost like we were an experiment that was working, because I was, let's see, a lady by the name of young lady, Benita Show was the first black cheerleader. And I came
Okay.
up right the year after her, but when I subbed at Shawnee, when I saw, because there were only, like, you all had only like 500 students or something. And I was saying, well, where did all the kids go? And the
Mhm.
kids had a bad feeling about going to Shawnee. And I closed the door to tell them what it was, and trying to lift their spirits about going to that school. So how has that changed for the students?
Well, when I first got to Shawnee, one of the things that the kids told me, because I had, some interest groups and tell me, what can I do as principal?
Right.
And one of the things they told me said, Miss Rice, nobody cares about us. We don't even have a vending machine here. I said,
Okay.
they're right. They didn't have a vending machine. And to them, that was a huge thing. I mean, it's a small thing to put a vending machine in a school.
Right.
But the kids were like, we don't even have one. Well, you
Okay.
know what? We're going to get some. And so we have vending machines.
Okay.
We have TVs in the cafeteria. They didn't have TVs when I got there. They had some, but those had been mistakenly taken. We're going to say it like that.
Okay.
By
Okay.
some individual. Yeah, we're going to say it like that. It was a mistake.
Okay.
And so we were going to replace them. And so that's what we did. And so now I told them, we're doing school. This is what you do here. When you come here, this is school. It says Shawnee Academy or the Academy of Shawnee, Shawnee High School. However you say it, it's a school.
Right.
So we're about school when you walk into the building.
Right.
And I'm kind of an old school. Well, I'm not going to say kind of. I am very much old school.
You old school. Okay.
I'm old school. It's a yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I'm little, but I walk with a big stick.
Girl.
And when I mean business. When I say it's time to go to class, I don't mean later. I mean now. We're going to class.
Right.
And if you're not going to do that, then you know what? This is not the place for you. But I don't know where you can go in Jefferson County where you can just hang out and not go to classes or get your education. Because if you're in a school building, in any JCPS school, there's an expectation that you are there to get an education.
All right. I hear you. Walk tall, carry a big stick.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
they can't say nothing about little bitty women, I'll fit in that category with you, because
Yes,
size
ma'am.
has nothing to do with it.
I've watched you in action. I know.
Huh? Me?
I've watched you in action. I know what you could do.
Look, but it's all in kind of showing them what respecting one another is all about. And once they feel like they're respected, it's easy for them to respect you.
Absolutely. And I expect respect, and I'm going to give them respect.
Right.
Now, when they step out of line, I'm going to let them know that they stepped out of line. You can come back in line, but we're not going to cross this line. There are certain things you're going to do, and here's my expectations. And by now, they know me. They know that I'm going to come down the hallway. If you're not where you're supposed to be, I'm going to yell. And I got a big voice, and I'm going to yell till you get where you need to go. So either you're going to get where you need to go, or you're going to sit there and listen to me yell.
Right.
But they know the expectations. I'm expecting you to be there for school. I'm expecting you to, respect others that are there. I'm expecting you to respect other people's properties and respect the adults.
Right.
And I tell them all the time, nobody's there to hurt you. Now, if a teacher says or an adult says, I need you to jump out the window, then I need to know about it.
Yeah.
But if they're asking you to do something like, I don't know, complete your assignment or take your, put your cell phone up or write this down, we're going to do that because that's not hurting you. That's what you're supposed to do. But if they hurt you, they already know I'm going to get them.
The students that go to Shawnee now, are they still mainly bused in?
We have students from all over, and I think you will be hearing about in the next couple of days the proposed new student assignment plan. Our kids come from everywhere. They come from around the neighborhood. They come from outside of the neighborhood. They come from everywhere.
Okay.
So we can't say specifically that they come from just 41st Street.
Right.
They come from the Portland area. So they come from a variety of places in Jefferson County.
Okay. So the student assignment will take effect what, next year?
We're looking at the year 2023.
Oh, okay.
We're
Okay.
working on the logistics now. There's a student assignment forum tomorrow at the track center, the Norton Sports Healthcare Center.
Right.
That's tomorrow at 6:15, and then next Tuesday at Shawnee at 6 o'clock. There's another forum, and the purpose of the forum is just to inform our parents and our community and our families about what the new proposal looks like,
Mm-hmm.
to get their input, and just for there to be just a basic understanding of the busing patterns and how kids get to their particular school.
Right. Right. Because it was a joy. I grew up on Cecil and Garland. I'm a CG, but I'm not a C Greenwood. I'm a Cecil and Garland.
Okay.
That somebody was saying that to me the other day. And I knew it was a joy to walk to school. And when I found out at first that a lot of kids, when busing first started, that most of the kids that lived in that neighborhood were bused out of the neighborhood. And
Mhm.
there was such a community, and a camaraderie. And it seems like when our children are able to socialize with the people that live where they live, then everybody's not going to be able to get along with everybody. But
Correct.
basically, there would be more of a sense of knowing each other and just going about your daily activities without issues.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I
And
think that's
so,
one of the basic tenets of the proposed student assignment plan is that we're looking at how to positively engage families and students. And
right,
so you're right, when they are closer to each other, you have that camaraderie built up. They're going to protect each other. They're going to look out for each other.
right,
And that goes a long way in bringing a sense of pride to the school.
right. And that new auditorium. Now, see, so that's my last experience with Shawnee. Our class day was in that auditorium.
Hmm.
And when I heard you all would take it, because actually it wasn't too bad. The chairs weren't in really bad shape, but I understood it was like half and half. Okay.
I really wanted to keep the chairs because they don't make chairs like that anymore.
No, they don't.
They do not. I lost that battle. Um, we have brand new chairs. We have a really up to date, very vivid, light, bright auditorium with very comfortable chairs. It's funny, last week, well, the first person to actually use the auditorium was our superintendent, Dr. Polio.
Right,
I didn't even let any of the teachers or other students in there until he had used the auditorium, which he used for his State of the District address.
right.
Then the next group to use the auditorium was our teachers. The next day, we had our faculty meeting in the auditorium,
Yeah.
and they were just in awe. It was really the first time they had seen it in all its glory. And then the day after the teachers used the auditorium, I had a guest speaker come in for a group of about 20 students. And so when I went to the auditorium while they were in there, I said, now listen, I don't want this auditorium messed up. You are the very first group to use this auditorium. If you have a pen, put it in your backpack. There will be no eating. There will be no drinking in this auditorium. You are going to take care of this auditorium. And
Absolutely.
they were like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because I
So,
saw it on TV with Dr. Polio, and I was screaming, look at that auditorium.
yes,
Oh, it looked beautiful. Nice,
it's
bright. The
beautiful.
chairs are what? They're yellow.
They're blue, light blue, with a sparkle of gold, just a sparkle of gold throughout the chairs.
Well, what was I looking at that looked like it was yellow?
Oh, you
But
might have been looking at our new desk chairs that are in the classrooms. Those are yellow,
oh, okay, okay.
blue.
Could have been
Yes,
that.
you
Okay.
might have seen those. Hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you, it was like, yes, yes, like it was Shawnee was back. It was alive and doing well and thriving. I mean, you still have the aeronautics program?
We do, and we've
Okay.
actually added on to that. Not sure
Okay.
if you saw it last week, but we have a brand new $105,000 simulator. So our aviation students are able to get into this simulator that simulates a cockpit in an airplane.
Right.
And so they are grabbing onto that. So that was a nice price tag. We were able to purchase that. And then we're adding back to Shawnee the aircraft maintenance program,
Oh.
which they had a couple of years ago in partnership with JCTC. We already have an airplane. You're the first to hear about the airplane.
All right, I'm breaking
Yes.
news. All right.
Breaking news.
All
We
right.
already have an airplane that's going to be coming to Shawnee. Now, they're not going to get the airplane together to fly, but they are going to work on that plane and figure out how an airplane does fly. And so that's going back to our hangar. So I'm very excited about that.
Wow. I mean, you've got, I'm thinking the pool. Because I came down the day that you all had the tour
Yes, ma'am.
and the auditorium wasn't finished then, but I got
It
to
was
see,
not.
I had never seen the pool. And the third floor wasn't finished. Was the third floor finished?
The third floor was finished, but
When
we
you all had
hadn't
the
finished the
tour.
auditorium. When we did the tour, the third floor
Okay.
was finished, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And that was like, it felt like, I mean, I had a flash of so many memories of going to that school, so it might sound crazy, but in Louisville, you meet somebody, but who's your family and where'd you go to school?
Yes, ma'am.
So those things are a part of our Louisville culture, because
Yes.
then we associate, what was going on in that school at that time, and the children, the students can now be as elated about going to Shawnee now as
Yes.
I was going 50 years ago.
Yes. And that's the plan. Shawnee has such a rich tradition.
Yeah.
I have made it my mission to go through the yearbooks and look at the transitions over time and see all of the great Shawnee alum. We have so many great Shawnee alum that are doing huge things right now.
Right.
So just that rich history there, we want to make sure that we return to that. We want to bring back our marching band. The
Oh,
principal of Central and
yes.
I have already talked about bringing back we actually did it this past spring with our basketball. We want to bring back the Best in the West Classic. And so we want our schools to participate, Central versus Shawnee. And
Okay.
so a lot of things that we want to do together because they are two, great schools in the West End of Louisville.
Right.
And we've got great kids at both of them, and we want to go back to that friendly rivalry.
Right. Because it was definitely a friendly rivalry, because now I went to Shawnee, but my boyfriend went to Central.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
I had look, and I was a cheerleader, and he played basketball for Central.
Oh.
So now I stepped out of line, but it was all right.
Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't a big to do. They didn't say too much to me about it. I didn't hear a whole lot of. I didn't get a whole lot of flack about it, but it did happen. But
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
Shawnee is on the move. So what is your
are.
vision? Where do you want this to go? What do you want? What do you want to happen? Because I know you've got a lot of things, like you're saying, the best of the West. Now we got to get our alumni back straight too, right?
We do. The alumni have got to come back because we can't do it by ourselves. It's going to take all of us and then some to make things happen. And we can tell over the years that that's just what has happened. People are coming together and talking about Shawnee and how we can make it a great place.
Right.
It already is a great place, but an even greater place. But I have a few more sleeves, a few more tricks up my sleeve of
Uh-huh.
things we want to do. Definitely talking about making sure that our students are getting the best educational opportunity possible. And so that is just more than academics, but focusing on their mental health, focusing on needs for our families, really just supporting the Shawnee community. And when I say the Shawnee community, I'm not just talking about the school, but the area around the school.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Shawnee. That is
Yeah.
our area, the
Right.
west end of town. And so that we consider that a part of the Shawnee campus. And so we want to support as much as we can. And we do that through the other things that we have in Shawnee. We have the district satellite office, which is an outbranching of the JCPS office, district office. It just provides services for our families who may be unable to get to Van Hoos.
Right.
And then we have our neighborhood place that is there to support the needs of the community. So they provide food, they provide lahi, just access to community resources that they
Right.
need. So,
I was curious about that once
uh-huh.
before about the PTA, especially for
Yeah.
when the kids that were busted in. I'm saying, so how do the parents? So now uh, has that involvement increased?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. We had a very active PTSA a couple of years ago, and then just through graduations and things happening, we kind of lost that parent base. But we are
And
working to
COVID.
reignite our PTSA and COVID. Yes, we are working to reignite our PTSA to have parents have that voice in school. And we have some parents right now that are working through that, and I'm going to do some great things before the end of the school year to help with our students. Along with that, we want to get, of course, our alumni associations back up and running. We have several classes that meet and
Right.
do some things for Shawnee. I wanted to pull together and have one large alumni association. You can still have your classes, but just one large
Right.
alumni association that can come together and do things for the school and for the community as a whole. And when I talk to alumni like yourself, that sense of pride that's of saying that you went to Shawnee is there, and it's contagious. And my kids need to see that. They need to
Yes.
be
Yes, they
excited and
do.
talk to people that
Absolutely.
went to Shawnee and can talk about all the great things that happened at Shawnee. So I got a few other things that I'm going to just keep under wraps
You
for a
keep that
while,
under
and
wraps for right
just,
now. Okay. Okay.
yes, just watch me
I
work.
won't tip your hand at the moment. But I wanted to say one thing. I have been speaking with Miss Lott
Yes.
because I have a program that she's very interested in. As far as it's a um, it's called Advantage, ADV Vantage. That's
Okay.
artist development and video production.
Oh,
That I
okay.
teach, I would teach artist development because a
Uh-huh.
lot of our students have talent. Just like when I
Mm-hmm.
went to Shawnee, I was able to blossom with my singing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, but I got in the show business just by OJT.
Uh-huh.
But now I can teach them, those that want to sing, performing artists that want to
Mm-hmm.
sing, that want to dance, that want
Yes.
to be musicians, that want to be models, that want to be
Mm-hmm.
comedians. That there is a path to take, just like any other job. You have to prepare, and
Yes.
so I'm looking to do that, but for 16 to 25-year-olds, because
Yes,
those are
ma'am.
the ones that have the guns in their hands.
Yes, ma'am.
So look
It's
for
funny that you said that today. Sometimes I just get a song on my heart.
yeah,
And so I was singing in the front office. I was going to get myself a cup of coffee and run some copies. And I was singing, and one of my students was in there. He was with another staff member. and he was just waiting for this other staff member, and I was just singing. He said, "Whoop, Miss Rice, you sing?" I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "I did not know that." I said, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that I do, but I love singing." And I think we have a lot of kids that would blossom if they were able to sing and perform and dance and rap. And so, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, doing that piece. And there's another piece that's going to help the alumni situation that, you and I spoke about before. And I want to make mention about losing our president of the Shawnee Alumni, Dwayne Haynes. Mm-hmm. That was tragic to me. That has affected me like nothing I've experienced in a long time, because he was not only my church member and the president of the alumni, he was just my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was so engaged with that alumni. I mean, he'd be out recruiting, and he'd go to all the different alumni gatherings. It didn't matter what class, he'd be there trying to recruit. So I have spoken to a gentleman, Mr. Chester King.
Yes.
He and I are going to be kind of on top of helping you to get that alumni back in place.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
And we
definitely need that. Yes.
We've got in May, I am putting together a book signing for a Shawnee alumni who was a 45-year TV anchor in DC. His name is Bruce Johnson, who's written a book.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's coming back to Louisville. And I want him to come talk to the kids, because I think they need to see, he grew up on Kaiser Court, overall 43rd and Hale. Okay. So, but he grew up in the West. So where you live has nothing to do with what you can become.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say to you, thank you for that third time making the decision to come to Shawnee, because I knew that you were going to make some things happen. I'm telling you, when I met you at Western Middle School, I was saying, ooh, she's on and popping. And I knew just because you were a little bitty thing, I said, girlfriend, don't play.
No, ma'am.
So, but to give them what they need, it's such a, I thank you. I just really thank you myself personally, because it means a lot to me to see the school be what it was supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am.
And come back.
And the kids are so deserving. They are so just loving. And I meant what I say when they have my cell phone number. They have it. I picked one up this morning. Can you come pick me up in the morning? Well, I guess so. Yes, I'll be there. If that means you're going to get to school on time, because she usually doesn't come to school on time, then I'm going to pick you up in the morning so you can be there on time.
Right.
But they are so deserving. They are just I say that we spoil them. And
well, good.
The teachers, when
I
you
say
spoil
with love, that's a good thing.
Yes. But when I say we can't do that, then that's what I mean.
Right.
But yes, they're a great group of kids.
Well, Principal Kym Rice, I think you all that and 6, 7, 8 bags of chips and 0 Coca-Cola.
Oh, well, thank you.
The best one. So, but thank you. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know your plate's been full, and you've done a fabulous job, and I'm here to help you in any way that I can. And know that. Just say, if I need to call Janice, just call me. And you have my phone number just as well. And you want to come on, or you want to bring some kids on, you want to showcase some kids, we can do that as well.
Okay. I would love that. Thank you so much.
Good.
It has been a pleasure, and I appreciate you. And we're going to get together. We're going to do some great things.
Okay, darling. Thank you so much. It's dinner time. Go have your dinner. Bon appetit.
Yeah, well, it's time to go work out, and then I'm going to go have dinner.
Okay. Do your thing.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
darling. Okay.
Thank you. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Principal Kym Rice down at the Academy of Shawnee, my alma mater. Okay. So you had a chance to meet and hear Principal Rice and what she has planned for the students, for the school. Um, she's very energetic. She has a lot of plans. And it's all about the students. Last night in her conversation to us, it was all about the students. So I want to fill you in a little bit on what Shawnee is considered as. It's called it's a residing school, which I was explained to that means living in the area. So next year, 2023, I guess, um, in August when the kids come back to school, they will have been able to choose whether they want the students that live in the West, if they don't want to take those bus rides to Butler and PRP and Fern Valley and Ballard and a bunch of other schools where they spend an hour going to school and an hour getting home in the afternoon, they can choose to stay in their own neighborhood. And I think it's a really good thing because that's how we never had all this killing when I was coming up, because everybody kind of knew everybody. If you didn't really know somebody, you knew somebody they hung with, you knew who they hung with, you kind of knew where they lived, but you all went to Shawnee together. We all showed up at the basketball games. We all went to the football games. And it was all about uh, our school and our school spirit. And there was not a lot of inter neighborhood negative things going on. I lived with Cecil and Garland, but I would be on the bus with people coming from 36th and Garland, or they might be coming off Hill Street because that was the Hill Street bus line that took you to Shawnee that passed by my house. And like my friend, like you heard me mention in the conversation, Bruce Johnson, he lived over off 43rd and Hale on Exley Court. Now that's close to the Parkway in Chickasaw Park. So everybody that went to Shawnee lived in the whole West End. I mean, and that West went over as far. Well, my Uncle Charlie, he went to Shawnee and he lived on Woodland and Beach. Go figure. But it was the only school in the West. But you could choose to go to school where you wanted to go. Shawnee, Central, Male, Manual. You could go to Catholic school, So I've got some friends that went to Loretta or Ursuline Academy. Um, and then the whole busing thing came into play. And it broke up our sports teams because our sports teams were dominant. Yes, they were. Central, Shawnee, Mayo kind of tried to come into play. Manu had some things happening. Mill and Manu had their rivalry. But we had wonderful championship sports teams, basketball, football. But when they started doing busing, that broke that up. And I think some of that was about that. It wasn't all about to desegregate the schools, because the black kids were the only ones that were being bused, really being bused. So now they can come back home. And I want the parents and grandparents to know that if you've got senior, junior high school students, you've got middle school going into high school, they can sign up next year to go to school in their neighborhood. I'm going to tell you it's a magnet school, so they have different areas of study that if your child is interested in it, they can go and be in those studies from a very early onset of their high school years. We've got health and human services. That includes early childhood, allied health, business, and entrepreneurship. Speaking of entrepreneurship, on Monday, I'm going to have Miss Nashan from Millionaire Market. She's the young lady that oversees all the entrepreneurs that have their booths and their markets that they do on 4th Street Live. And they've actually got their own building now where if you are a one woman show, one man show, and you have wares that you sell, um, Miss Nashan has put that all together. So you have a place to come and sell your wares. She'll tell us all about that on Monday. And I think she would be a wonderful person to come down to Shawnee and speak to the students in their business and entrepreneurship program. They also have the AIM program. It's Aviation Interactive Media. That's dealing with graphic design and automation engineering. Look, listen to what I'm saying, because if you've got a child that's drawing or doing drafting type drawing, they might have a propensity for engineering. So you parents, you have to pay attention to what your children know how to do or what they enjoy doing, so you'll know how to guide them. You know what I'm saying? If there's something that you see that they like and they know how to do, then you have to send them to get the right education to prepare them to have a career in that career field, to have an occupation in that career field. The other one, the middle school Explorer, which includes engineering, business, and communications. So at Shawnee, let me explain what you have. You've got 6 through 8, which would be middle school. And they are housed in the junior high school part of the school. And then they are really going to come to be the academy at Shawnee. Shawnee may get just to be Shawnee. Like all the other schools, high schools, they're just who they are. They're Butler, they're Western, they're Atherton, maybe one day with the leadership of Principal Rice, we'll get to be Shawnee again. Made me think about the school song. I don't know if I did a school song before, but it was on with Shawnee, watch our colors rise. Gold and white are floating o'er us, keeping standards high. Rah, rah, rah. Ever true and ever loyal to the school we love. Always dependent on a Shawnee high. Hey, rah, 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 rah. I was a cheerleader. Bon appetit. It's dinner time. It's Friday. Y'all going to see Kevin Hart? Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. But parents, remember, your children will be able to go to school in the neighborhood if they live in the West. You must find out the programs at the magnet school at Shawnee, what they offer if your children are interested in it, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews. Pay attention, guide the children to where they need to go, to the school where they need to be. And if they know each other, when they get to meet each other and know that they live in the same neighborhood, maybe there won't be so much anger and animosity, because you don't know. When you don't know, you choose a different way. When we used to walk to school together, we rode the bus together, we went to the games together, we cheered for our school together. So there was a community years ago, 50 years ago, when I went to Shawnee. There was a community, and we all lived in the West, all over the West. And the West was all over the West. But they could choose to go to Central or to Mill. And next year they will be able to do the same. But Shawnee has some programming that may be interesting to some of those students that are going, we used to say, out in the county, but having to be bused to school. If you don't want to be bused to school anymore, you need to talk to your parents and you need to sign up, find out what that process is, get the paperwork in, get it done. So next year, when school starts, whatever grade you're going to be in, if you're going to be in high school, you will be ready to go to a high school in your neighborhood. Bon appetit. It's dinner time. I'll see you on Monday with Miss Nishan from Melinar Marketplace. Take care. Bye-bye.